Also, it's got a lot of weight. One of those spans of power lines with 500 pounds with a quarter inch of ice or something like that, like a huge amount of weight from ice.
And the ice that accumulates on the trees, a little bit of wind now can knock down some of those branches or trees themselves, which knock down power lines.
And you mentioned the wind. You're not getting snow and ice in Atlanta.
What's the deal? Yeah.
You're having tons of rain, so the grounds are saturated, and wind. There are wind advisories up through most of Georgia, so that can bring down trees, and so a power outage threat from that. So multiple threats here ongoing.
So the probability, the chance is that you're going to have some ice accumulating on some stuff is high in a lot of areas. Now, that's the kind of ice that you'll hear in the trees and might not be too impactful. It can make some slippery roads.
Little branches might go, like little twigs, but this is the real danger.
Yeah, anything more than a quarter of an inch, we're talking limbs are coming down, the overpasses, and some of the roads are going to be slippery.
And that risk is increasing as well. You look towards kind of the North Georgia mountains, central portions of North Carolina. This is that potential, quarter inch or more. We're talking power outage issues that become a little bit more widespread at that point.
And driving is absolutely hazardous in a situation.
Even a tenth of an inch of ice. And driving is really tough.
And the other thing, too, are the marginal temperatures. With right around 32 degrees, we talk about, and I know it sounds silly to say a wet snow, but they're partially melted snowflakes. And so you're getting a lot more water per inch, essentially, which is heavy. You cram all of this water, an inch of rainfall, into that, you can almost wring out the snow, as opposed to the light snow that's spread out.
It also means you can really hurt your back shoveling it. A lot of risk with that heavy wet snow.
But another big reason power outage is expected.
Absolutely. And Diego dumped record rainfall already for the Texas Gulf Coast. Records broken at Houston's Hobby Airport and at Galveston. Enough to swamp streets and prompt at least one high water rescue there.
And of course, here at the Weather Channel, we have team coverage, crews out covering the storm, all aspects of it. Meteorologist Tevin Wooten is in Houston this morning with a look at the latest conditions there. Tevin.
Finally, the rainfall has stopped. We are still seeing high water here in Houston, Texas. I'm meteorologist Tevin Wooten. Just yesterday night, we were watching that rainfall pour in, and look at what happened when it started to pile up and run along the sidewalks, bringing in a lot of the mud here. Now, you can tell that these air pockets are starting to release, so the water is trying to drain out. But look at how much water is here. This is the Buffalo Bayou. About 15 hours ago, none of this water was here, but this this bayou rather, is made to take in some water and drain out through Houston. But you can see how fast flowing it is. And I'm standing on one sidewalk. There's actually another tier right down here, about 4 feet down, where you have another sidewalk. A lot of people run throughout here. We saw that scene yesterday before the rainfall picked up. Now that it's much cooler and the rainfall has come through, people aren't really out running as much today because we are in the 40s and 50s. And also, we do have that threat of the San Jacinto River cresting at major flood stage as we get into Sunday and Monday. Right now, it's at about 51 feet. It is expected to crest at 54 feet and stay that way for about 3 to 4 days.
All right, Tevin, thank you so much. You saw all that water there, the swollen bayous and the streams and the creeks. That's after a lot of rain. And we're talking about 17 million people still under flood alerts right now. And this is part of the equation. The rain that has already come down in the past couple of days, really a lot of this happening yesterday and early this morning. But you're looking close to 5 inches there in Huntsville, looking at East Texas. All of these yellow areas where the radar estimating in that 3 to 5 inch range. And so the actual observations are where we have the rain buckets, right? But it's possible more rain fell where it wasn't recorded. And that's why the radar estimates are so useful. It gives us a general sense of some of the drainage basins that ended up getting a lot of water. Here's a look at some of the areas where we're priming it essentially for more flooding across much of the south. Now here's a look at hour by hour, the way the high-resolution future radar displays the radar is going to look like. So where the rain's going to be through time. Remember, the yellow, the orange, and the red is the heaviest rainfall we're going to be seeing here across parts of Alabama, North Georgia, also south central Tennessee. You're going to see quite a bit of rain. And now we're starting to see, this is tonight, 1 o'clock in the morning, seeing some of that snow showing up. Even a changeover possible around Memphis. And the heavy rain still going down that I-10 corridor there. The 95 corridor is going to be a sloppy mess during the day tomorrow. Even at times, some snowflakes on the 95 corridor. And this is now 8, 9, 10 o'clock, now noon tomorrow. And what a mess. North Carolina will be well into it at this point. Still a few showers lingering around parts of South Carolina. So as far as that flood potential goes, the areas we are concerned about for the possibility for some flash flooding and all the issues associated with that, it's possible in all of these areas. Make sure you stay with the Weather Channel. We have live team coverage of Winter Storm Diego and a look at some of the areas that could see years worth of snow in a matter of hours.
I knew about the tremors, but when I started seeing things, I didn't know what was happening, so I kept it in.
He started believing things that weren't true. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't say a word.
During the course of their disease, around 50% of people with Parkinson's may experience hallucinations or delusions. But now, doctors are prescribing Nuplazid, the only FDA-approved medicine proven to significantly reduce hallucinations and delusions related to Parkinson's. Don't take Nuplazid if you are allergic to its ingredients. Nuplazid can increase the risk of death in elderly people with dementia-related psychosis and is not for treating symptoms unrelated to Parkinson's disease. Nuplazid can cause changes in heart rhythm and should not be taken if you have certain abnormal heart rhythms or take other drugs that are known to cause changes in heart rhythm. Tell your doctor about any changes in medicines you're taking. The most common side effects are swelling of the arms and legs and confusion.
We spoke up, and it made all the difference.
Ask your Parkinson's specialist about Nuplazid.
What does help for heart failure look like? It looks like this. Entresto is a heart failure pill that helps keep people alive and out of the hospital. Don't take Entresto with it. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or allospirin, or if you had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto.
It goes on.
Yeah.
Kleenex was made for this. Strong. With a soft, soothing touch. Kleenex Soothing Lotion. America's softest lotion tissue.
I wanted more from my COPD medicine. That's why I've got the power of 1, 2, 3 medicines with Trelegy, the only FDA-approved 3-in-1 COPD treatment.
Trelegy, the power of 1, 2, 3. Trelegy, 1, 2, 3. Trelegy.
With Trelegy and the power of 1, 2, 3, I'm breathing better. Trelegy works 3 ways: to open airways, keep them open, and reduce inflammation for 24 hours of better breathing.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Trelegy is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Think your COPD medicine is doing enough? Maybe you should think again. Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy and the power of 1, 2, 3.
Trelegy, 1, 2, 3.
Save at Trelegy.com.
The right hug makes all the difference. Michelin wiper blades with exclusive SmartFlex technology hug your windshield like our tires on the road for better visibility. See clearly, drive safely.
So we do have rural areas in the county. Our DOT is very good up here, so they do a good job keeping the roads clear. However, when 15 to 16 inches of snow falls, it's hard to keep that completely cleared.
Absolutely.
We've not had that amount up here in quite a while. We do, with what they're calling, from what we understand, the heavy wet snow, that is a concern with the power outages and trees.
And you've even got pre-positioned supply, you're pre-positioning power crews.
Correct. So we've got our main...
Heavy wet snow, of course, one of the big ones there. Welcome back to our special coverage here as we track Winter Storm Diego, already an overachiever in the snowfall category of Hartford, Texas.
Absolutely. What we've seen so far in Texas is nothing, though, compared to what could be coming into western North Carolina. Maybe some new records for December snows overnight into tomorrow in western North Carolina.
And already, Lubbock seeing snowfall today, 10 inches, 10 and a half inches in the latest update. That's record snowfall. That snow started falling just before midnight last night, and this is the issue. The roads get slick in a hurry. It's tough driving. It's tough stopping. It's tough trying to turn the whole deal. It's a tough go of it here. The heaviest snow we're looking at and expecting from western North Carolina, and then eventually potentially into the Charlotte metro area. Some areas are looking at the potential of anywhere from an inch to a foot of snow, and then you head up into, say, Boone, North Carolina, get into the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains, Mark, and we're looking at a couple feet, which is certainly a possibility with this.
Isn't that great when you can say a forecast from an inch to a foot, and it's like crossing a county? That's the kind of setup we have going on right now. I want to show you what's going on with our storm right now, including a severe weather that is now starting to pop up. We've got an area of low pressure riding along the Gulf. This is going to be the focal point for all the moisture that's thrown into the cold air for the east later on. But as we look down towards southeast Louisiana, very heavy rain and a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for this cell. It's St. Charles, St. John the Baptist parishes, moving just to the west of the New Orleans area, sliding on off towards the east-northeast, close to 30 miles per hour. This warning goes until 1 o'clock. Biggest risk will be some gusty winds coming out of that cell. Now, it's not the only thing we're watching, of course. You've got the snow from Abilene to Wichita Falls, reasonably light, but this is overachieving snow. We've got an upper-level feature swinging in, cold pocket of air aloft, helping to change that tip over. Will that be able to swing in to Oklahoma City on the north side or Dallas on the east side? Maybe. It doesn't look like we've got a lot. You can look at what Frederick is reporting for an example of what could be to come for those cities, about an inch in Frederick right now. Now we look towards northern Arkansas and northern Tennessee, a stripe of icy weather that is set up over here as well, and we are getting reports of accumulating ice, especially on those power lines and elevated surfaces. Paul, I do think that will be one of the main threats as we look towards your area, the Winston-Salem zone. You're going to see that precip moving in, and those elevated surfaces are going to cool down first, and that can really do a number on travel pretty early in this storm.
Definitely, and here's the thing about the topography or geography of this area. We have hills, we have kind of mountains, well, some mountains, but we have hills in this part of western North Carolina. Far western, we're in the Appalachian Mountains, we have mountains there, but here in Winston-Salem, we have hills. I'm standing on a hill right now. See this Cassie Hill? We'll probably see tons of kids out here tomorrow sledding on this, and the timing of this is for the snow to start probably the up tomorrow morning. So under a little slow morning, looking at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. So about, 11 and a half hours away from that going through Monday evening. And the radar looks like there's some rain or precip in the area, but most of that is evaporating before it hits the ground. I'm kind of looking at the sky right now. I think I'm seeing a few flakes, maybe a couple of drops come down here, but nothing compared to what will happen, say 18 hours from now. So the timing is for this snow light overnight and getting heavy before sunrise and snowing and dumping snow all day long. Our temperatures right at freezing. So it's not going to be like 25 or it's not going to be 35. It's going to be 31, 32, 33. You can still get big, fat, heavy, wet snowflakes all day long. And then we also have, by the way, wind coming in here as well. It's standing at, say, 15 to 20 mile per hour range. It's going to be below blizzard standards, but if you have to be out here, the wind is blowing that snow. It's going to feel pretty rough here. By the time the snow ends, and it might not taper off until late tomorrow and completely end until Monday, we can be looking at maybe 8 to 12 to maybe even 16 inches of snow between the triad here. It all depends on elevation and also how much we mix in with sleet and rain. Let's talk more about some of the snow totals we can see across the region. And back in the studio with Chris Ward. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Paul. And some of that mixing you're talking about will affect the snowfall totals. The areas that start off as rain, or maybe at some point during the snow changes over to rain, then back to snow, it all affects what ends up on the ground. And right now, it's the northern edges. We're seeing at least a little bit of snow being indicated here by the radar, and also some hints that some of that, what looks like heavier rain, could be melting snowflakes, and the radar's thinking it's heavy rain when in fact it could just be the snowflakes. Remember, most rain starts out as snow anyway. It just melts before it gets to the ground for most of the United States, outside of the tropics and subtropics, of course. But looking now at the mountains of North Carolina in the snow by tonight, and it's going to be going for a while. Just want to watch there. But then it also expands. Look how far to the east it goes. And we're talking over the 95 corridor there by tomorrow morning. And then you see a little bit of the back terrain situation. So what was snow, like say for Raleigh, goes back by the afternoon to rain. So with this complicated situation unfolding right now here on the Weather Channel, we do have live team coverage from Texas to North Carolina.
If you're looking for the perfect holiday gift for someone special to you, give a gift that will be truly appreciated. The Omaha Steaks Favorite Gift Package. It's filled with $232 worth of great food for just $59.99. That's 74% off only on this special holiday offer. The people on your nice list will receive 4 tender, mouth-watering filet mignons, 4 extra thick boneless pork chops, 4 premium boneless chicken breasts, 4 classic juicy Omaha Steaks burgers, 4 stuffed baked potatoes, and 4 caramel apple tartlets. Your order will be delivered straight to your home or the destination of your choice, so you can give this wonderful gift to anyone on the holiday list. As a special holiday gift from us to you, if you order right now, we'll give you 4 additional Omaha Steaks burgers free. That's 8 total. You get it all. Omaha Steaks Favorite Gift Package of $232 value for just $59.99. Give everyone a gift they can appreciate. Give them the favorite gift package from Omaha Steaks today.
There's a new way to ring in the holidays at Olive Garden. All new oven-baked pastas. Your favorite pastas baked bubbling hot, like new, rich, and creamy lobster shrimp mac and cheese. All new oven-baked pastas. For a limited time, only at Olive Garden.
What if there was something that can reduce body fat, boost mood, get rid of wrinkles, tighten saggy skin, and make you look and feel decades, not years, but decades younger? Interested?
Vinyl, available at Ulta and smarter retailers nationwide.
Alice loves a scent that gains so much. She wished it came in a fabric softener, too. Say hello to your fairy godmother, Alice. Oh, and look, they've got Gain scent beads and dryer sheets, too.
A true winner doesn't seek over the title. A true winner seeks growth. A true winner seeks greatness. It's the journey. It's the challenge. If you reach your goal, set a great goal. If you get to the top of the mountain, try a bigger mountain. Don't tell me it's over. I'm just getting warmed up.
Come on, baby, let the good time roll. Come on, baby, let me thrill your soul. Come on, baby, let the good time roll. Roll all night long. Come on, baby, yes, this is it. This is something I just can't miss. Come on, baby, let the good time roll. Roll all night long.
You can drink, eat well, and exercise, but to look completely healthy, you need healthy skin. Cetaphil is clinically shown to strengthen the skin's barrier and protect even the most sensitive skin against dryness, so you can look healthier. Complete your healthy routine with Cetaphil.
Winter Storm Diego making travel difficult to dangerous across the U.S. this weekend. Right now, a live look, and not too bad of a scene here in Oklahoma City and Memphis. Memphis, not as good. It's that cold rain that we're dealing with right now, 39 degrees, and we're expecting a mix of sleet and freezing rain. Eventually, in some of these areas, it's going to transition over to snow. The best chance of that is going to be northwest of the I-44 corridor there in Oklahoma. Meanwhile, you're in it right now in Memphis. So we have pretty much everything on the board, and everything on the map right now is showing up. The green is the rain, and the yellow and the orange is either melting snowflakes or heavier rainfall, and the blue, of course, is the snow, the purple and the pink, somewhere in between. Either freezing rain, freezing drizzle, some sleet in there, or a mix. That's the forecast right into tonight. I-40 from Oklahoma City all the way over to Little Rock. It's going to be in and out of it. In and out of the snow, then the mix, and then possibly some rain back into a mix again. So just a heads up if you have to be traveling here. Here's Memphis. We were just looking live a few moments ago, and what we're seeing there are some wet roads. Snow not too far out. You can see it just to the north right here. And if your travels take you through Memphis tonight, and it takes you through some of the southern locations, so Memphis here, and then you're traveling 20, it's going to be rain. And it's going to be heavy rain, though, at times as well. So heads up there. That can make things quite dangerous. Now, things get really interesting. Your best bet, stay off the roads tomorrow. If you were planning on driving anywhere where there is purple or blue on this map, you're better off holding off. All right, so that's you can't get hurt. You can't get in an accident if you're not driving. So just a heads up, stay off the roads when the worst of it's coming down. Let the crews get out there, finish up, do their deal. Meanwhile, still seeing some delays in Houston and in the air too. Some moderate turbulence being reported both from the west and around Diego as it is still winding up this winter storm and pushing through the southern plains and into the rest of the southeast. Tomorrow expecting to see some delays. Unfortunately, if your plans take you into, out of, or through Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, we are expecting some delays. Also, Orlando, a lot of people, Mark, trying to maybe hit the theme parks. Maybe not the best day tomorrow.
Could have some severe weather moving through Florida tomorrow, and that is going to mess up travel for sure. Now, in Raleigh, work is underway to prepare the area for Winter Storm Diego. A round of snow is set to blast the area tonight into early Sunday, and that's where we find our own Dave Malkoff with more on how the area is preparing. Dave, it's a fast and furious run to the supermarkets and get the salt and shovels ready for a storm like this one, huh?
It is, Mark. We just talked to North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, who said this is not a snow event. This is a snow storm, a real storm that everybody is taking very seriously. Raleigh's a big city, but inside Raleigh, we've got a city within a city, NC State, and Brian is here, and you actually are in charge of making sure everything's working properly. We've got some finals coming up on Monday. Is that going to happen?
Well, that is definitely something we're monitoring right now. We're monitoring the weather here. A lot of people involved in that decision to make that decision. I'm not the one in charge per se. I'm one of many great employees that we have here that tries to kind of coordinate these events as they come up.
So we have 32,000 students and we have 9,000 employees here inside this little city within a city. What are you doing to make sure that the roads are passable, that there will be power, that everything is going to move slowly through this storm?
Well, the planning for this storm actually started a long time ago. When you were talking about the heat, we were talking about the plans for winter weather, trying to look at our last year's after action, trying to make sure that it's matches up with what we want to do this year safely. We want to make sure that safety is the top priority. But just this week, the 900 plus employees and facilities alone has come together to coordinate, collaborate, communicate, and kind of come together and get a plan for our campus. So we are actively brining, putting out approximately 8,000 gallons of brine already has been put out. We have 100 tons of rock salt, a fleet of equipment that's ready to start at a moment's notice.
And it's interesting, this is not city equipment, this is your equipment here on NC State.
Correct, yes, this is university equipment that we maintain, that we prepare for year-round.
And so how many trucks do you actually have running around the campus at this point?
So just earlier I spoke, and there was approximately 5 that was brining at the time. Of course, that can change at a moment's notice depending upon the weather conditions.
And what do you believe that you're going to be in for here? Do you have a lot of trees that come down? I know you had a hurricane come through recently. Do you have structures that have to be reinforced? What are you actually doing?
Right, so any kind of precipitation, we're talking snow, that equals water at some point. So whether it rains or whether it snows, you always have the tremendous amount of water. So we always look for that with some of the older buildings that we have on campus. Leaks is sometimes a possibility. So there's a lot of effort goes into making sure that what we have, whether it's old or new, is maintained properly.
Big job for Big Campus, Brian. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Weather Channel. We will be here covering what is going to happen here in North Carolina. Normally they get about 6 inches of snow per year. They could possibly top that in one day tomorrow, you guys.
Yeah, pretty incredible there, Dave. Thank you so much for that report. Meanwhile, we are looking at some very narrow cutoffs for big-time snows versus no snow at all. You can look at Asheville to Clemson, a 60-mile distance as the crow flies. Clemson raining, Asheville approaching a foot of snow. These are some big differences, but it is a factor of just a couple of degrees. A cold rain in Clemson with 34 degrees, but with 32 or so in Asheville, it will be snowing. So check out the numbers, especially in the mountains around Asheville. 1 to 2 feet of snow Clemson, nada. That's not the only area that we're watching. How about Boone on one side of the mountains to Johnson City on the other side? Johnson City, your forecast, about a ½ inch of snow and some mixed bag of precip. Boone could be a foot to a foot and a half when all is said and done. So again, temperatures close, but no cigar in Johnson City, and should be right on the nose for big snow in Boone. And you can also look at it just staying in North Carolina, from Charlotte in the snow, although Charlotte, your cutoff may be less dramatic than even this. 115 miles, all rain in Fayetteville. Charlotte and the I-85 corridor, you might get a couple of inches on the south side and almost a foot on the north side. This is like one county away from each other. So there will be some big cutoffs with this storm. Chris, is just one more thing that makes winter weather forecasting so much more difficult, because you can get those cutoffs that are just so extreme.
And the changes can be happening minute by minute. That's why we're here at the Weather
Those
Channel.
lines are not fixed. They get wiggled around.
Yes, they can. And that's why we have live team coverage as well. As much of the southeast bracing for Winter Storm Diego straight ahead, we're going to time out that record-breaking snowfall that is expected across the Carolinas this weekend.
When Domino's is out for delivery, use Domino's new dinner bell to get the family home.
You're never going to use this anyway. I've got to go.
Ring the dinner bell and they'll come running for their mix and match favorites. Choose any two or more like bread twists, specialty chicken, pizza, or salads for only $5.99.
John Tyson's motto was, chickens are happy and will hatch them. It's why all of the Tyson chicken that bears his name is raised with no antibiotics ever. Every nugget, strip, and drumstick. Keep it real, keep it Tyson.
Help life go right. State Farm. Leg cramping and heaviness, breathless and achy legs aren't just part of getting older. They are symptoms that can lead to issues later in life. Westral Vein Specialists can help now. Don't wait for a more serious problem. Find help with Westral Vein Specialists.
When you donate a coat at Burlington, it's just like giving someone a coat. Get 10% off your entire purchase, and someone gets a coat.
Thank you.
Join Burlington's commitment to giving back. You'll feel warm inside, and so will they.
You look beautiful. When your skin is feeling dry and crinkly, time for Gold Bond Healing Lotion. Penetrates 10 surface layers deep with 7 moisturizers, 3 vitamins. Skin is nourished, healed, healthy looking. Gold Bond Healing. Ultimate lotion, ultimate skin. Are you tired of painful varicose veins, ankle discoloration, or sores? Westral Vein Specialist can help with specialized treatments for you. Every patient is treated personally by Dr. Westral, so you can trust Westral Vein Specialists.
The best in weather. Join Jen Cantori, Stephanie Williams, and Jen Carfagna. Weekday mornings starting at 5 for AMHQ on the Weather Channel.
How to quit sugary soda with a few. Ice Stream. Enjoy great taste with less sugar. Maybe 2 steps is enough. Make sparkling water and help save the planet. Risk-free for 30 days. For the best deal of the season, go to SodaStream.com and save up to 40%. Get your SodaStream today. SodaStream can be found at these fine retailers.
A winter storm warning is in effect. Currently in our area, 40 degrees with rainy conditions. Today, periods of rain. High 41. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Rainfall near a ½ inch. Tonight, windy with a mix of rain and snow. Some sleet may mix in. Low 33. Here's our 7-day outlook.
A winter storm, Diego, doing a number on Texas. Take a look at this here. Some people doing a number on the snow as well in Lubbock, Texas. Building snowmen today.
You know, usually you have to take an entire yard's worth of snow in Lubbock to be able to build a snowman of that size.
Where it ends up being half grass.
Yeah, half grass. The half dirt snowman. No, this is a real snow Lubbock, 10.5 inches, officially reported at the National Weather Service office there in Lubbock.
And the thing is, too, you know, we're showing the makings of a snowman, but it's telling to the type of snow, because there is snow when it's really cold. That's, I know it sounds silly to some people to say dry snow and wet snow, but it's a thing. The dry snow, it doesn't pack.
Yeah,
So
you
can't
wet
make it
snow, you can
packable.
bring it out, squeeze out some water, and it makes good snowballs and hurts your friend when you throw it in the wrong spot.
Ice balls, yeah.
Now, of course, we are also watching the Lubbock area. Meteorologist Mike Seidel has been in Lubbock for us with a closer look at those heavy wet snow conditions. Mike.
They've been keeping weather records here in Lubbock since 1911. Today is only the 6th time that they've recorded a double-digit snowfall. We're 10 inches in county, now also the second snowiest December calendar day on record. Number one was just 3 years ago when they had 11 inches. Here's what makes it so easy when it's a heavy wet snow. Cleaning off your vehicle, no scraping, you don't have to use a lot of elbow grease. We didn't have any freezing rain, it's not 10 degrees. Do a little karate chop right here. Look at that. Just like butter. It's like Teflon. It just comes right off. So easy to clean up now, but what happens tonight once the sun goes down? Everything refreezes. Temperatures just above freezing. They're going down to 20 tonight and tomorrow morning. And again, planning ahead, working school Monday morning, another night of temperatures around 20. So all the moisture that's not been treated is going to refreeze, and we've seen very little plowing except for the roadways like out here. Take a look, driving around Lubbock mid-morning, icy and dicey. We were snowing at 2 inches an hour, 1 hour at the National Weather Service office. So that's a fairly hefty rate for this latitude. And remember, Lubbock only averages about 8 inches an entire season. So they picked up a whole season's worth of snow in less than 1 day. If you think about it, it started snowing around midnight last night. So quite a storm in Lubbock, a storm we'll be talking about for many, many moons to come.
And, you know, we continue to follow that snow as it works its way across Texas and into Oklahoma. This is the main event has begun, right? This is an upper-level low that has really cranked out that snow. It's why we had so much around the Lubbock area. Your snow is basically done in Lubbock. The advisories have been discontinued because our snow has moved on. But look at what's still moving through, right? We've got this little pocket from southern Oklahoma into North Texas. That snow continues to make its way eastbound. Will Dallas turn over before that precipitation turns off? That is something that we are watching carefully. Another area of concern is here in northern Arkansas. We may keep that snow going through much of the day into the overnight. It expands towards Little Rock, a mixed bag of precipitation, especially on the north side. It doesn't end until later overnight to get out of Arkansas. So you've got a ways to go. The conditions are already going downhill pretty quick in northern Arkansas. Snow is now being reported in Asheville, North Carolina. Light snow, and now that it's begun, there's not much that's going to get it out of the way. The snow will only continue to increase here across the eastern United States, filling in through western and central North Carolina, southern Virginia, northern South Carolina, a little bit on the west side of the Appalachian chain, but mostly this is an eastern Appalachian story. That upper-level low, next upper-level low swings in. Keep getting questions, are we going to get snow in Atlanta? No, probably not. A flurry or two, maybe early Monday, otherwise lingering light rain showers. It's a cold rain. I understand why people are asking across the southeast if we're going to get snow in other places, because even where it's raining, it's going to be 34, 35 degrees. This is not a comfortable southeast warm rain. It's anything but, right? But the snow is going to be impressive. Where it is snow the whole time, there will be a pretty widespread footprint of 12 inches plus. Some areas could go 2 feet or more when all is said and done. Increasingly concerned about this as well, Chris. Couple of different pockets, northeast Georgia up towards Asheville, as well as much of central North Carolina. Both of those areas could have a fairly significant ice event. I think that's going to really limit the snowfall totals in some cases here, but a little bit of ice goes a long way to make sort of just terrible conditions.
It might limit the numbers, but not the problems.
The impact will be worse with just a little bit of ice.
All right, so let's take a look at where the precipitation is right now. We use the word precipitation because it's all encompassing with whatever's falling out of the sky, what's precipitating out of the clouds, out of the atmosphere. And it's snow, it's a mix, it's some of that wet, cold rain. I know that also sounds kind of silly to say wet rain, wet, cold rain, but if it was just moments ago a snowflake and it now hits you on the face, that's some cold rain. And also, snow can be wet as well, and it gets into a slightly warmer atmosphere. The edges of the snowflake, you don't really see it, get little water droplets on them, so they partially melt. That's also how they'll stick together, and you get these really big snowflakes as well. So we're seeing a lot of big rain when it comes to coverage, and we're also going to be seeing, see, look at this, the big area with all that rain. And then within that, there is some heavy rain, and the threat for flooding is going to be with us. That's one of the big stories that we're also covering here at the Weather Channel, the wet side and the potential flooding side of Winter Storm Diego as the snow continues to pound. Let's go back to Paul Goodlow in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Paul.
Hey there, Chris. And so watching that radar showing you the snow coming in as we head on towards early Sunday and then snowing all day long as that cold wind is pulling out of part of the southeast. We still have that cold air, still have the snow. In fact, we have team coverage across the southeast. We have 9 crews spread out covering Winter Storm Diego. More.
Ordinary eggs? Not in this house, because that's no ordinary family. That's your family, which is why you didn't grab just any cheese. You picked up new Kraft expertly paired cheddar and Swiss for eggs. Beat that. Kraft. Family great.
Enter the world of Di Serono. Di Serono, the world's favorite Italian liqueur.
I'm the song, singing around, round, and then tie you so strong. Makes your heart start pounding, you
feed seniors when you share the love. You feed souls. Get a new Subaru like the all-new Forester, and charities like Meals on Wheels can receive $250 from Subaru.
Get 0% during the Subaru Share the Love event.
Christmas trees try so hard. Lights and ornaments and little choo-choo trains, come on. The best trees, they kind of only need 2 things. Peanut butter and chocolate. Not sorry, Reese's.
Ready to Juvederm it? Correct age-related volume loss in cheeks with Juvederm Voluma XC. Add fullness to lips with Juvederm Ultra XC. And smooth moderate to severe lines around the nose and mouth with Juvederm XC. Tell your doctor if you have a history of scarring or are taking medicines that decrease the body's immune response or that can prolong bleeding. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. As with all fillers, there's a rare risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel. It can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. Juvederm. Talk to your doctor about the Juvederm collection of fillers.
Storm Diego from Texas to the Carolinas. It is dropping the hammer with record snow. Lubbock, Texas already picking up record 10.5 inches of snow as Diego tracks east. Snow totals will likely double in parts of western North Carolina, expecting 2 feet of snow. And some places are towing the line between an inch and a foot of snow. Do you believe that? Welcome to our special coverage of Winter Storm Diego. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren.
I'm Storm Specialist Mark Elliott. I want to get you caught up on some of the headlines that Diego is making right now, including the sad news to report that already at least 3 deaths are to blame on Winter Storm Diego, 2 in Texas, 1 in California.
A state of emergency has been declared in Oklahoma, North Carolina, and in Virginia. North Carolina Department of Transportation discouraging all but essential road travel this weekend. And Winter Storm Diego has left its mark across the Texas Panhandle with double-digit snow falling in Lubbock.
Yeah, meteorologist Mike Seidel on the ground there with some of the latest. Mike.
Good afternoon from Lubbock, Texas. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel. We're continuing coverage of Winter Storm Diego, and boy, did we get Diego here in Lubbock, Texas, for only the 6th time since they began keeping records here in Lubbock back in 1911. A double-digit snowfall, 10 inches and counting. Keep in mind the seasonal average is only 8.2 inches. In the past 2 winters, they've only had a half an inch of snowfall. It's winding down. The sun has been bleeding through the overcast through the afternoon, so the roadways are improving, the ones that have been plowed, but most of the side streets, the parking lots.
Obviously, having a little bit of technical difficulty. We'll get back to that update from Mike Seidel when we can. That said, the snow is quickly coming to a close in the Texas Panhandle. We are indeed seeing some of that lingering snow from Oklahoma into Texas, a stripe of snow across Arkansas and northern Tennessee. So to know what's still to come, let's take a look at what has already occurred, and that includes this. Oh my goodness, Lubbock, 10.5 inches of snow. Well, that was an overachieving storm, and it's certainly not the only ob that was pretty impressive. We're talking Shallow Water, 8 inches, Ransom Canyon, 8.8. Floyd Attic, 8 inches of snow. This is a shovelable, plowable event here in central portions of the Texas Panhandle. And that footprint of snow continues to increase, right? From just outside Oklahoma City down through Wichita Falls. Wichita Falls now at 1 inch. Will some of this be able to make its way towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area? It's certainly not out of the question because you're at a cold 40 degrees in Dallas, but Wichita Falls to Abilene in the low 30s. This precip will be coming towards Dallas-Fort Worth at the end of the day. The colder air is starting to work in just because a function of the nighttime coming in. How about Oklahoma City? 31 degrees and some light freezing rain. It only takes a little bit of that glaze to just shut down a city. So be careful. There's not much precip left, but what's there is freezing on contact. We've got some ice in northern Arkansas. We've got some ice in northern Tennessee, real close to Nashville. That line is oh so close to you, and if you cool down any more, some of that could change over to snow, although the bulk of the forecast for you is rain. The snow continues in northern Arkansas up towards down towards Little Rock, I should say, maybe ending as a little bit of mixed bag of precip in Memphis as well. But Memphis to Nashville should largely be a rain event. However, we go towards the eastern side of the Appalachian chain, and it's not going to be a rain event. We're talking about sleet, freezing rain, and snow, and some real heavy snow at that. You look towards Asheville, you're now at 34 degrees and snowing, just beginning for you, right? It's going to snow and snow and snow. Blairsville here in northeast Georgia, 40 degrees. So there is a distinct cutoff, and that is going to be part of the story here. But there will be some new cold air getting pushed into the storm as we continue on through the weekend. That low will throw more of that moisture into the cold air, and so some big totals are possible, including in North Carolina and Winston-Salem. That's where we find our own meteorologist, Paul Goodlow, and he's got an update from there. Paul.
Well, Winter Storm Diego continues its jaunt across the southern states, heading into the southeast as we head on towards today and tomorrow. If you're watching those scenes out of Lubbock, Texas, 10 plus inches of snow, well, we can see scenes like that and that snowfall or even more here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This is part of the triad of Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and High Point. All could be talking potential double-digit snowfall as we head throughout Sunday into Sunday night. Winter storm warnings don't drop out of here until sometime on Monday. So this could impact in terms of even cool on Monday, maybe even Tuesday, as the temperatures fall back below freezing then and big-time freezing going on. Now, let's talk about elevation. This is definitely going to be an elevation-driven event in terms of how much snow versus how much rain or sleet you see with this system. We're sitting around 900 feet. Feet, and you can see perhaps a couple of feet of snow potentially as we head through the heart of Winter Storm Diego. Here, a little farther down, 900 feet, that's enough to give us potentially maybe 8 to 12 to 14 inches of snow, and that is going to cause a lot of concerns at the airports and also the highways, even the sidewalks, the driveways, and just the roads around town, because look behind me, we have elevation, we have hills here. I wouldn't call it mountains, but enough hills where you put some ice and snow, and people who don't typically drive in snow, you're going to cause a travel and transportation headache and nightmare around town, especially as the temperatures drop back below freezing into Tuesday. So whenever it does fall, we'll stick around into this week, which means any schools that are canceled on Monday might be canceled on Tuesday. Great news for the kids, not the best news for parents who have to deal with childcare if they have to go to work and still dealing with the aftermath of the frozen mess that's coming with Winter Storm Diego.
And Winter Storm Diego right now eventually will be making its way here. It is making its way here. It's just not here yet in Boone, North Carolina. 35 degrees. This mountain town is going to be covered. It'll look much, much different by tomorrow. This time tomorrow, totally different scene expected here. Winter storm warning in effect at 7 o'clock this evening. Expecting hours and hours of snowfall there in Boone. And let's take a look at the amount of snow that is expected as well. And here it is, all of these areas right here expected to get some snow. But look at the difference with some areas in this blue color here, 1 to 3 inches, not too far away. You're in that 8 to 12 inch, and it's even closer right there. So you get up in elevation, and you're going to see a lot of snow. It's going to go in a hurry. So a lot of snow is expected, anywhere from 1 foot to 2 feet in some locations. And even in Asheville, North Carolina, in the mountains of North Carolina, your average annual snowfall is almost 1 foot. Tomorrow, 1 foot of snow is possible. So a year's worth of snow is possible tomorrow for Asheville. Same story in Greensboro, North Carolina. In any given year, about 7.5 inches. Similar story in Raleigh. 6 inches is all you usually get. You could double that. Double your annual snowfall possibility. And in some cases, it could come down in a matter of just a few hours. If you only need 6 inches and the snow's coming down 1 to 2 inches an hour, we're looking at potentially, in some spots like Greensboro, North Carolina, it's possible you could break your annual rainfall, or snowfall, I'm sorry. You could break that record potentially, or meet that benchmark before sunrise. I mean, it's possible. That's what we're talking about. The snow starting during the overnight hours tonight and continuing in heavy fashion. That's what this is right there into the early afternoon before it tapers off. Meanwhile, looking at the way things are going to be playing out with Winter Storm Diego, some areas seeing snow, and then some areas are going to be looking at that rain change over to snow, and then eventually that snow change back over to rain. And there's something else with the rain mark. If we can take this camera real quick while we're here, it's in Arkansas, and Mountain View, Arkansas. We have our storm tracker out there. And look at this, Mark. Yeah. This is what freezing rain is. Liquid water, of course, just saying that redundant for effect. Yep. Water coming out of the sky, freezing on contact. That's freezing rain. Rain that freezes when it hits something. It is a great example of that very thing. The liquid hitting a below freezing object and freezing basically right where it lands. And so if that then is, dripping down the hood of a truck here, you wind up with icicles. You wind up with a completely iced over windshield. And then if that is a tree limb or a power line, that ice adds a lot of weight. It is a lot of weight. Power outages too. Yeah, so timing in some cases is going to be everything with this. Whether or not you end up with freezing rain or if it's just straight rain and doesn't freeze on anything. Absolutely, and so we can take a look at that radar across portions of Arkansas where we're seeing that freezing rain zone, right through here from outside Fort Smith to well north of Little Rock. But Little Rock, you could probably change over before this is done. 34 degrees right now and some pretty good precipitation still to come as we get towards the end of the day and in the night. The temperatures are going to slide. We're also sliding on over towards the east where the snow has begun in Asheville, 34 degrees there and light snow. It's rain in Charlotte, it's rain in Greenville, but my goodness, it's close. And you are going to see some impacts from wintry weather as well. This is going to be a classic I-85 setup for Charlotte. I say that because it's going to be the cutoff
of the storm. The south side of the area, not much, 1 to 3 inches, including probably the bulk of the city itself. We're just north and west. We could see significantly more snow than that. You start off as rain through the storm, but you should change over to a rain-snow mix in town overnight. Look what happens when you go up to 77, you go over 85, and then suddenly you're back into the snow, and you'll stay that way through the bulk of the storm, maybe back to a little bit of rain shower activity before it completely ends. But I want to show you the snowfall total here for Charlotte. Look at this. Go up 77, 10 inches of snow. Go down 77, nothing. This is the I-85 cutoff once again for Charlotte. Then we can look at a place like Roanoke. Roanoke is going to be hard not to get into the snow. 5 to 8 inches for you. Arguably heaviest on the south side of the city. So if you're going down 81 or 581, you'll be in this steady snow longer, but it's snowing the whole time for you. There's plenty of cold air, a depth of cold, no changing over here. 10 inches plus on the south side, 5 to 6 to the north, and then eventually a cutoff where the precip doesn't get far enough north anymore. But still, that area is going to see snow. Raleigh, very interesting as well. 8 to 12 inches of snow in the forecast. But that's not for everyone. That's for the airport, north and west. While south and east, it could be significantly less than that. So let's go into Raleigh, see how they are prepping for this winter storm as Diego moves in. I know Dave Malkoff standing by there. Dave, you know, it's cold. It feels like snow when you get a setup like this moving in.
Yeah, there are about 32,000 students just here on the campus of NC State. And we've just been joined by a large contingent of the meteorology department. All the students here, including Clay Cheney. How you doing? How you guys doing? This will be a field experiment for you. You'll be able to actually see this happening up close and personal. Are you thinking about that today?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I have finals to study for, but I can, you know, focus on actually studying just because I'm excited about what's in store for here.
And what are you thinking about when you see not only a hurricane coming through here this summer, but you also have this huge winter storm?
I mean, that's just the joy of living in North Carolina. You know, right on the coast, you know, we get those, over summer we get those big tropical storms. And, I mean, typically this is not very average to get a possible winter storm this early in the year. Usually we don't get that until about January, February. So it's very exciting for us.
And we were thinking that there's about 6 inches of snow normally per year. We can get that tomorrow.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, last year we had a big snowfall and saw around 6 inches here, and it's even crazier to think that we might see that today and this weekend, hopefully if the rain doesn't come in too early.
And what are you thinking? Is it going to be rain, or is it going to be snow, or are we going to be right on the edge?
Okay, so for finals, I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to be snow, but I'm thinking it's kind of going to be a mixture. We'll probably see some snowfall, but then also some rain coming to our area as well.
The meteorology department right here at NC State. Thanks so much, you guys. Yeah, it's going to be a big snowy, wet, and possibly icy event here. The entire state getting ready for this big snowstorm coming through this area and also this city within a city, NC State.
Yeah, got to agree, Dave. The meteorology students are spot on. There will be some changing over, especially on the southeast side of the city, north and west, all snow. It's a tough forecast. When the cutoff is the city, it is a tough forecast.
And as meteorologists trying to forecast snow, it's both exciting and frustrating.
I had hair before I started doing wintry weather. Yeah. Exactly. You know, the power outages. I love this map today because, you know, when it's a hurricane coming in, it's because of wind. When it's a snow event, it's because of heavy snow. When it's something like this, it just tells you everything.
You know, you can even say it's because of gravity. Okay, right? Because of the heavy snow or the ice is just too much for either the power lines or the trees to handle.
But, you know, if you look towards Atlanta, you're not getting snow, you're not getting ice, but you have a power outage threat. And that's because of heavy rain saturating the grounds. Trees could fall because of the wind that you're expecting. There are wind advisories up in Atlanta.
All right, so that's going to be one of the concerns we're looking at. Now, if you get a quarter of an inch or more, which is a medium chance, a pretty good chance, that could happen. We're going to have some serious problems with some broken tree limbs from the weight of the ice, and a little bit of wind can make that, you know, because you exacerbate that. And also a lot of power outages and icy roads.
Absolutely. So that gravity looks like it's going to win. Gravity's the law. We obey the law.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so when you got this heavy, wet snow in Asheville, that could be enough for some power outage problems, too. You probably will not change over to anything other than heavy snow in Asheville. But it's going to be that heavy, wet snow, a high water content snowflake that'll be landing with this storm.
And we're talking 5, 6, 7 to 1 here. You're putting a lot of water into a very compact, and so you're in that heavy snow piling up.
Right, and so if you're then going to have a forecast of 2 feet of that, heavy, wet snow,
That's really
holding
heavy.
buckets of 1 inch of water, it gets old fast.
Yeah, it's heavy. It does.
It is heavy. Wet and wintry, that is the theme here. That's what's on tap of the southeast through the weekend.
Still ahead here on the Weather Channel. We're going to pinpoint the areas that could get either the sleet, the freezing rain, and potential for some flash flooding.
Colon cancer screening for people 50 and older at average risk.
I think it's time for a new screen. For a different kind of screen. For colon cancer. On and on. His wife asked about screening options, and her doctor ordered me. I'm Cologuard, the non-invasive test you use at home. No special drink. Just a trip to the bathroom.
Cologuard, colon cancer screening that's as easy as get. Gone. Cologuard is not right for everyone, so ask your doctor if it's right for you.
Still fresh.
Down the Unstoppables.
It's all wide open space out here, but there's still no room for nonsense. And while the clock moves slower, no one here has time to waste. Small towns are different that way. Folks don't want to buy what you're selling. They want to believe what you're saying. So tell the truth, bring your best, and show them you're here to stay.
Dish was built by serving small towns all across America. It's why we'll show up when promised, stay till you're satisfied, and deliver the strongest connection. Dish, tuned in to you.
My Pacifica Hybrid automatically switches from